Spirit Babies Part 2. If you want to see Part 1, you can go see Part 1. I don't think it's necessary. Well, if you want to. Who knows? But anyway, I'm talking about Spirit Babies and how they present to me as a psychic. So in Part 1, basically, I was talking about how how I just have a knowing. Just when I'm with someone in someone's presence, if they have a baby or a spirit baby that's floating around them, I can see any kind of really baby that's floating around you, whether it be if you're going to adopt or if you're going to be with a partner who has children that you're going to have. But so the reason for the part two, I just didn't want to have part one be so long. But part two was just about, a couple of weeks ago, I had a reading with a lovely woman, and we were really, the idea of that reading was to connect to her spirit guides, just because she wasn't sure, her connection with her spirit guides was strong. So I had connected with her, and three came through. And so because I had asked for spirit guides, that's what I thought they were. They were wearing white, and they presented as children. And it was the setting was not a park, but just like, land, with a path, and there were bluebirds flying around her and kind of talking to her and singing to her. Which, by the way, after I told her about all that, she said, Aaliyah, let me stop you, because I want to say something. I said, what? She goes, what you're describing is a real place. That's my backyard. And the bluebird that you see, she was like, yeah, he always comes to me, and it's kind of strange because he sings to me all the time. And I tell people he sings to me, and they just don't believe me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's okay. So I'm seeing that. But what's so interesting about that reading, and I'm smiling because it was so beautiful. What's interesting about that reading were the three kids. So it was two boys and a girl. At first, it was a boy and a girl, and it was another child, but the child kept morphing between boy and girl. Like one time I would look and it would be a girl. The next time I would look and it'd be a boy. But the form finally settled on a boy. So two boys and a girl, and they were just running around, playing around her, and the children were really engrossed in the children. They were not paying attention to her. And I'm talking energetically, and this is in the vision. She wasn't paying attention to the children. She was all about, the birds and this beautiful area she was in. And so I created a bench, and I'm trying to wrangle these children to give me information about her, so that I can, connect them, because it was spirit guides that I had asked for. And when I connect with spirit guides, I know it's spirit guides because there's depth to it. There's knowing, there's knowledge, there's there's just an elder, there's a feeling there that I get. But with these children, I didn't get that. Sorry, something's going on my phone. But with the children, I didn't get that depth. I didn't get that knowledge. I didn't get that, just that feeling that you get speaking or being in the presence of just knowing, just, something that's just otherworldly, I guess. But with the children, it was basically, they were just in it for fun. They were just running and playing, and there didn't seem to be too much going on in their heads that I could feel. And so I'm trying to wrangle them, and at one point I'm yelling at them because I was getting so frustrated. And I'm like, this is the mother. You guys are supposed to be paying attention to the mother. Again, I don't know why I said that, because at that time I was thinking it was spirit guides. And I'm like, you guys need to be paying attention to her. Why aren't you paying attention to her? And at one point, I coaxed the little girl over to sit with me on a bench that I created. And as she's sitting, I'm trying to talk to her, and she kept sliding off the bench to go play. And I kept trying to grab her to sit her back on the bench. It was and this reading, it was so hilarious. I have to get her permission to share it, but I will. It was so hilarious because I'm so frustrated. It's basically, I'm energetically trying to wrangle children. And so I'm talking to her and I'm going, I don't know what's going on. Like these, like I am having such a hard time. And I asked them, like, why aren't you guys being more supportive? Why are you coming in this children form and not like as an adult? And one of them said, well, she told us we can come back like this. And I even said to my client, why would you agree to this? Like, now I understand why you're having such a difficult time, connecting, because I'm having a hard time wrangling them. Like, why did you agree to this? And again, she goes, Aaliyah, can I tell you something? And I said, yes. And she says, I think those are my children. She said, I had 3 miscarriages, a boy and a girl, and the other one was too soon, so we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. So that's probably why, he was morphing back and forth. And I said, okay, that was a boy. And she goes, those are my children, that I had a miscarriage. And she goes, I did, when she was having the miscarriage, she said she did tell them, that they can come back. And so they did. So I'm smiling because now I'm just remembering. So what I was able to do was connect them, because again, they were disconnected. The children were playing. They're all around her, but they weren't interacting. And she was not interacting with them at all. It's like she did not see them. And so by the end of the reading, we did connect. She was holding the little girl. The little boys, one was holding onto her leg. The other one was like running circles. And they were not giving demands, but the little girl, she wanted in the backyard. I told her that's where they connect. The little girl wanted her to section off a little piece of the yard with a little small white picket fence and put flowers in there just for her, because she didn't want them to be disturbed by her brothers or anyone else. My client said that she's going to start, going back into the backyard and painting. And as soon as she said that, the little boys like came to attention. Then all of a sudden I saw them in smocks, paint easels, paint, and they were just sitting there painting. I said, yes, that's a good idea. What we learned from that session was that they wanted to play. So while she goes in the backyard and they connect with her there, they're around her, they're more interested in play, as evidenced by, them playing around and, just not really paying attention to her. But once she started talking about ideas that she's going to do in the backyard, they wanted her to sit back there under a specific tree, and they wanted her to read stories. So she says she's going to go buy books and do that. But all in all, it was just about learning how to connect with them, and how to love each other in this energetic space. So that's interesting. And that's why I do this work. I don't do this work to get rich. That's not why I'm here. I am here to connect. I'm a bridge. I'm a light. I know that. And this is what makes me, I'm trying not to get teary-eyed. This is what makes me happy. This is what makes me feel fulfilled. And this is what brings me joy. Just being able to help everyone else out on their human experience journey. So I just thought I would share that with you. So yeah.